Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
What's up, degenerates and Jarrod? I guess you're kind of a degenerate too, Jarrod.
I am.
That's
Last
okay.
minute note taking happening here. I'm with it. We're here. We're doing this. I'm
How
old
did you?
people.
I don't understand. How did you end up wearing scarlet and then whatever one of the 19 colors that Oregon claims to represent on their uniform simultaneously?
What are you talking about? This isn't scarlet. It's orange.
It looks pretty. Well, from the way the light is, at least, it's looking kind of Ohio State-ish.
That's okay. I mean, it's kind of an honor to what sure. you wear after you skin the animal, you wear the fur, right?
This is kind of expected though, right? We got to pay homage to a team that we beat by one because they're really, really good, and it just makes us look like better sportsmen.
I don't know about you. I counted at least 15 points Oregon left on the field.
And
just saying. Maybe Oregon didn't play their A+ game against Ohio State. Maybe they played like A- game in Ohio State. Will Howard. When have you ever seen Billiam Howard play like that? I haven't.
Well, I never even had heard of him until this season. So the answer is probably never. I don't think. Listen, let's be honest here. By the way, I'm Nick. That's Jarrod. We're the Zbookies. So let me tell you something about what Will Howard did. Right, I haven't seen that in like ever. To where there's 6 seconds on the clock after a gift of a 5-yard penalty. I'm not one of these people that's like Dan Lanning did a genius thing here because I don't really necessarily believe that. But nevertheless, you got 5 yards, right? Okay, you got a timeout too. Okay, great. So
inside
run
zone.
The ball up the middle for 5 yards quickly and get down and put your field goal kicker out there. It's that simple. You don't have time in college to get outside the numbers, complete a pass, and get out of bounds. There's no point in trying it. At that point in the game, with 6 seconds left, you're either throwing a Hail Mary and ending the game right there, just like that, or you're going to run the ball, and you're going to pick up 5, and you're going to try to kick a 53, 52-yard field goal. Whether or not they make it or not, I don't know. I'm sure the answer is no. I'm sure he probably wouldn't have made it. But give credit to the Ducks. I mean, the Ducks, were tested at home, and
wasn't our first time.
They're probably, a win against Washington away from being in the top 12 guaranteed. I don't see it. I don't look at their schedule and I don't get too nervous. I think that they're pretty safe this weekend to win.
That's why I'm wearing safety orange. It's with the theme, buddy. Do you know who Oregon plays
this weekend? Yes, I do.
And when?
It doesn't. Listen, we knew what when was going to be when we signed up for this. Okay, what I'll tell you when it's not. It's not 7:30. It's not Pacific time. It's not that.
No, but it's Friday, short week after a huge emotional game, and you're going to the spoiler makers? Come on, man. Got to put some respect on it. Safety orange. Got to be careful. Got to treat it. Soft touch, soft gloves. Be very, very aware. They just hung 49 on Illinois last week. Forced an OT game.
I'm not impressed.
Head coach is calling plays. All I'm saying here. You can't just – there's 6 more games on the schedule and then the championship game for the big. You know what I mean? You have 6 more games. It's not just Washington and then you waltz into the top 12.
How nervous is Oregon fans about that Washington game?
Which answer do you want? I'll give, because this is recorded, I'm going to give this answer. It's a rivalry game, so it's always going to make me nervous. Subpar teams can play above their level during those times. So, of course, it's Washington. Haven't won last 3 times we met, so You know, I hope we go into it as underdogs, to be honest with you.
Oh, stop.
I mean, you guys lead every metric there is: passing yards, rush yards per attempt, you know, play yards per play.
Well,
Defensive
they don't.
pass, you know.
Yeah, wins is not one of those. Yeah. Yeah, wins is not the category that we're in.
I mean, it's not over.
Not leading that one.
It's not over.
No, it's not over.
Before we get into anything else, I just want to give a special shout out. Okay.
Please.
To Army and Navy. Undefeated.
It's special.
I mean, listen to this, though. Listen to this. Army points for 196 in conference play. Points against is 52.
That's seriously good defense.
Dude, they're smashing people. Navy, they've only played 3 games. They're outscoring people 135-73, but Army just absolutely rolling right now. Good for them.
They both probably have Notre Dame still on the schedule, yeah?
Yeah. Army has scored more points and held teams to less than Clemson has this year.
That's really good.
Watch out. Somebody might have to play Navy at home.
Yeah.
In the playoffs.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, in terms of group of 5, I don't think either of those two teams are going to be there. But nevertheless, it makes for an interesting story. I think it'll be Boise State.
I was looking at this the other day. Army's path forward is it's all there for them. I'm not joking. They play East Carolina, Air Force, North Texas, Notre Dame, UTSA, and then they end the year with Navy.
Oh, they got the Roadrunners, and man, look out!
Just saying, that's a workable schedule for our Black Knights. Anyway,
well, I look forward to seeing, because we all know that college football is historically better when Army is competing for national championships.
That's why we expanded playoffs.
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
I don't know. Seems like you're definitely sticking to the theme of subpar teams. That's for dang sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just hoping for Florida to lose so Jed Fish will take that job.
I mean, at this point, you guys want him to, right? I wasn't blowing smoke. I told you guys you would want to.
Yeah, I think after Ryan Grubb gets ran out of Seattle by idiotic Seahawk fans, that he'd be the first candidate for taking over that job, that Washington.
Yeah. Yeah. Who knows?
All I want, bro, is I just want to see one of the Husky corners make a play and turn over to the sideline and give Jabir Muhammad some of that.
Why would you want him to do that? That's what the Oregon Ducks defensive backs do.
No, that's not what the Oregon Ducks defensive backs do.
Yeah, no, I've seen it like 7-8 times. I mean, by the Duck legend himself, Jabbar Muhammad.
You've seen it?
Yeah, he does it.
Hey, you know what else?
His last game, and he went.
You ruined my transition.
Okay, well, transition. We're in Washington. No, everybody supports it.
Taxpayers fund it. Right here it says there's a screenshot on my phone.
Yeah.
And it says, let's see, Alex Pereira, money line, Juliana Pena, money line, Mario Batista, Kayla Harrison, and Roman Dolidze. So that means that your boy cashed $25 bet there, 5-way parlay. That was for Schmeckles. I mean, that got it to where this is worth it, $279.
Yeah.
I got to tell you though, I was nervous. I thought I'm honest. I'm an honest person, Jarrod. You know me. I'll tell you the truth. Okay, truthfully, I didn't think that Juliana Pena won that fight. Truthfully, I don't think Mario Batista deserved to win. Do I think he leaned up into Aldo and held him more? Yes, I do. I don't think Aldo did enough to get off of the cage and throw enough strikes, and he didn't really do a great deal in preventing takedown defense from happening. But in terms of the decisions, both of those decisions were boos. There were a lot of boos. Yeah. And I thought the Pena fight was close, but did I see her winning, the rounds that they had her winning round one, I think, which was the most controversial of the two that she did end up, the other two that she ended up winning. I don't think she won round one personally, but at the same time, other than I think it was in round, I want to say 4, Pennington really didn't have a lot of big moments. I mean, she had the big knockdown late in the fight, but I just don't feel like that she took advantage of the opportunities that were presented to her. I'm happy to take the win, 5-0, baby. And then Pereira absolutely killed Roundtree. I was worried that he was going to die. I was worried Roundtree was going to die on his shield.
I thought he was going to skin his eyelid like an olive. That was really bad. It looked bad. Yeah.
It didn't make me happy watching it. It was one of those fights where you're literally like watching Rocky IV and you're like, throw the towel, man.
Yeah, no, there was I can't remember who it was. Somebody posted it on Twitter and it was talking about Mark Goddard was the ref and he was like talking to somebody and I think he was telling Rogan and he was like, I've been doing this for 20 years and I've never heard somebody's like hits sound like that on another human and have somebody stay up through it. So like props to Khalil. Like that's the right guy. He did way better than I thought. I thought Pereira was going to put him away like 1-2, but like Khalil was able to like force Pereira into spots we haven't seen really. I mean, outside of when Izzy flash knockout, but that was a really good fight. I made me a fan of Roundtree.
I think Roundtree will be back quickly. I don't know what Pereira's plans are in terms of staying in the division, moving up, moving down. The last time he called out everybody from Dracus Duplessis to Tom Aspinall to John Jones. It doesn't matter, right? But then after this fight, he's like, I'm fine where I'm at in light heavyweight. I don't need to move up. I don't need to move down. So I guess that means that, the most sensible fight for him moving forward is probably Hill in a rematch, and then maybe Ankalaev. I don't know. I know Ankalaev thinks that he can win that fight, but he's just got snooze fest written all over it. I know it's hard to call it Alex Pereira fight a snooze fest, but that guy doesn't look like the type of guy that's standing there and bang.
I mean, he's not going to. He's either going to get put to sleep or he's going to wrestle him.
Yeah, or both.
I don't know if you could do Hill. It'll probably be Ankalaev.
Shouldn't be. I think Hill has a little bit of a gripe, a little bit. Not anything too major. The only reason I say a little bit is because anybody who watches fighting like we do in terms of how often we watch fighting, because I know that we both just love watching UFC.
Yeah.
There's a difference. There's a difference between being 6 feet away from your opponent and 5.5 feet. And Pereira was able to move forward after the brief stoppage, and the hand was still out by the ref, right? It's like, okay, you're not fighting. And then all of a sudden Herb's like, okay, you're fighting. And now you're 5.5 feet away instead of 6 feet away. And for a guy like Pereira, that is a huge difference maker to start in that position right away. Now, Hill might have an excuse that, I wasn't ready. But man, you get a guy in the nuts and he holds his hand out and Herb says, okay, good. You got to be ready. I mean, you have to put a lot of that on Hill to not circle out of that position as soon as Herb says, let's go. But yeah, that was just one of those situations to where I can see why it's a little unfair for Hill, but at the same time, it's protect yourself at all times,
100%. I mean, we've seen it in other sports like Manny Pacquiao. I mean, there's boxing that happens all the time where people like lose fights because they fucking get blasted and it's a protect yourself at all moments type thing, so we're a week away from some really good fights. There will be Ngannou versus Ferreira tomorrow in the PFL super fights. So, I mean, I'll definitely tune in to watch Ngannou and Ferreira. But it's just
That's
Ngannou.
that's tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow at 10:30 a.m.
Where's the fight? Like Saudi Arabia?
Oh, I'm sorry. The 19th. I keep thinking today's Friday. My bad. On Saturday at 10:30.
Well, real quick, buddy, I guess that summarizes where we're at. We took last week off, right? It was as you called it, our bye week.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
It's kind of just it's an occupational hazard, you know? Yeah. I mean, you know, every now and then you gotta get guys healthy, you know. Yeah. Glad to see that you got you healthy.
I am. Yeah. No longer sick. You can still hear it a little bit, right? Still in the chest, still in this cavity, but you know, the show must go on. We only get one bye week.
I recently went to the dentist and I don't have any cavities. So I'm pretty good.
Good for you.
Yeah. Yeah, not bad for 40 years old, man.
No.
About to be 41 here in a couple weeks.
Man, how does that feel?
Do I look 41?
No, not at all.
That feels great, buddy. Feels amazing.
All right.
Feels super.
I have to go steal a tablet out of my kid's bed because I heard him up and Chelsea's in bed asleep. You roll out your picks for week 1 here, and I will be back before you get done.
Okay, gotcha. Hi, hey, N2 here. Just to let you know, I'm not going to reveal my picks right now. We're going to just hang out, and I'm going to entertain you with the idea that Jarrod is going to probably get on here, and he's going to probably try to convince you of some Alabama magic. I'm sensing some Alabama-ish magic from him. He's probably going to get on here, and he's probably going to tell you how Alabama has had some close games. So they had a loss that they need to refocus. So let's prepare for that. And other than that, I'm gonna be live streaming tomorrow night. I'm gonna be at Longview Memorial Stadium here in Longview, Washington. By the way, it's gonna be awesome. Wash Eagles taking on RA Long's homecoming 2024 for the Lumberjacks. Just got done doing our power rankings. When I say our, I'm talking about me and Jody Nayland, Blast Zone Media. If you're not on Blast Zone Media or subscribe to it, you should be, because Jordan does a great job. So, all right, buddy. Yeah, I almost just finished up with those picks, man. So, yeah,
I'm sure those were picks as you were plugging.
I don't know what you're talking about. No, I'm not giving my picks away without you here, bro.
I just meant load the graphic. That's all.
I don't have a graphic. I only have your graphic, bro. I've been busy. I've been writing for Blast Zone Media.
Oh my goodness.
I normally do put mine on there. So here, I'll put this on the bottom here.
Oh wow.
There you go.
Is that because my picks are about to go?
No. Let's get your picks on there. By the way, guys, appreciate all of you supporting us all the time. You know, we had several hundred views on a couple of the shows on the N2 Media Facebook page. So hopefully, if you guys are watching this is a good chance to plug our other page on Facebook, the one that we'd like to stream to. It's at zbookies.com. It's really simple. Just go there and click the follow button, and then you're helping us. It's that simple.
Yep.
But yeah, Jarrod, I'm really looking forward to this week's games. I'm really looking forward to talking about our picks.
Okay.
I'm also looking forward to potentially a Brucey geographical topographical pick. I don't know if Brucey's going to be here, but excuse me. Ooh, this
a little birdie told me he was.
By the way, this is the Three Creeks Crowd Pleaser IPA. It's just 7.3%. So nothing too crazy, but
Attaboy.
a couple of these babies will have you feeling pretty good.
Are you guys on bye week?
Yeah. Yeah. As far as I know.
Yeah.
All I can tell you is that when a team like Iowa only wants to run the ball, and you know this going in, and they still just run the ball all over you, it's a bad sign. It's a real bad sign. So they got a lot. They need to figure out how to become men. But you know what? I told you this. Like, they got 52 new guys out there. Overall, It's like I'm not worried about this season. That last year's run, Jarrod, will sustain me for a very, very, very long time. Going to Texas, beating Texas again, by the way, second year in a row.
Right.
Yeah. Beating Sarkisian again was great. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me if they win another game this year. It doesn't matter to me if they win another game the next 5 years. Last year was a great run. Got a chance to watch them play in a national championship in a meaningful year, in a meaningful era. It's not 1991, right? I mean, we can say that we were there, right? And I think we could have won. I think Penix actually had a bad game, honestly. I think that we could have won that game. And Donovan Edwards apparently can't be tackled in national championship games. There's a rule against it. We got a petition to get that rule banned. I'm sick of it. Just like Ohio State petition to get the 5-yard penalty, a timeless penalty to where no time runs off. I don't know the answer to this, and I really want to know before we talk about your picks, which are on the bottom of the screen scrolling by. But let's just say hypothetically, Jarrod, that on that play where there were 12 ducks on the field, let's say Ohio State threw a pass for 6 yards. Do they get to add 5 to that 6 and lose the time? Or is it you choose one or the other?
Yeah, I think it's you choose one or the other. But I think a majority of the time it's blown dead immediately. So just 5 yards blown dead.
Well, when Vegas is pulling the strings, Jarrod, certain things are overlooked from time to time.
Look, I think it's an absolute malarkey that the NCAA changed the rule midseason when defensive pass interference is still only 15 yards. That's not a spot foul. Faking injuries, it still stops the clock for the offense. I mean, there's a million things that the NCAA could clean up if they actually wanted to, but showing in true NCAA fashion, here's the one thing they're going to focus on and get cleaned up right now, middle of the season, amend the rule books. And it's funny to me because it involves Ohio State.
All right, buddy. So Jarrod's got college football 6-pack of the week on the bottom of the screen here. Jarrod, walk us through it, buddy.
All right. First off, near and dear to my heart. The Purdue Spoiler Makers are going to invite us on our first true Big Ten road game. So that's part of it. Traveling back east on Friday, short week after, highly emotional game with Ohio State. Made out healthy. We didn't get hurt. We weren't beat up. Everybody left that game healthy who we entered with. But 28.5, for as great as that win was last week, I don't think Oregon's done great this year against the Sticks. And I don't like them on the road, short week, 3 time zones against the Spoiler Makers. I think the score is probably going to be 42-ish to 24, and it'll be one of those games where you look at it in the third quarter, like, what is happening with this ball game? And then you look at it at the end and you're like, oh, okay. Game 2.
Can I interrupt you real quick?
Yeah, please.
I want to say that I commend you. Now, I understand what it's like to hedge your team against, potentially losing a game. This really isn't that type of a scenario, I don't think. But kudos to you for recognizing that this has classic letdown written all over it. I wouldn't even say that a 42-24 game is. I think that's a lot. I think 18 points in this game is a lot. I don't know how 28 and a half is really the number, considering that your fans are tired, right? They stormed the field. They probably carried a goalpost or two to the weed store. I mean, it was a big deal.
The Willamette Hill yearns. We did not satiate its.
Everyone in Oregon's really high after last weekend, so I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and I like your pick. I like it. I think that's a good game.
I'll say this. Here's how much I think of this game. I think.
Cheers to you.
I think that if Oregon covers in this game, I will not worry about another game the rest of the year. I will go into it saying this is going to be a good ball game for Oregon to be playing in. And I mean that in not like an overconfident way, but if Lanning is able to get these guys back on track and handle business on Friday night all the way across, when you've had teams go 2-6 traveling 3 time zones in the Big Ten, whether it's East or West, if Lanning's able to make them show up in this game against Purdue, and I know it sounds dumb because it's Purdue, it's more the spot than it is the team. I will have much more confidence in this team going forward than to just be like, oh, we beat Ohio State. Because there was a year not too long ago where we went to the shoe, beat Ohio State, and then the next week we lost to Stanford. So
yeah, that's going to be counterproductive.
Anyways, enough on that game. Louisville and Miami play. Cards are 5-point underdogs. I really like that spot. If we go back 2 weeks when we talked about the Miami Cal game, I said this is going to be a really ugly Miami win. And I said it. If you go back and listen, and it's your job as chief editor of this show, I need you to go find my clip and cut that out for me so that way I can retweet it to everybody, because I literally said this is going to be one of those games that you look at it and you go, what is going on with Mario? But as a veteran Duck fan who watched Mario play Justin Wilcox thrice, every single time afterwards, they were like, oh, Justin Wilcox is such a great coach. If he was just at Oregon, he would be the best coach in the nation. He just doesn't have the players. And what happened? There was a absolute nonsense, no targeting call. If that targeting call happens, Cal wins the ball game. But instead, Miami's able to get the ball back. Cam Ward is an alien, dropped off from planet Jupiter. And just does crazy things on a football field. And that was one of those moments where he did it again. Subpar team he was playing against, they never should have been that close, but Mario Cristobal let it happen. So this week, little revenge game. Do you know who the quarterback is for the Louisville Cards?
Probably Teddy Bridgewater's little brother.
No, his name is Tyler Shugg.
Okay. Oh, yeah, Shug. Yeah.
2020 Pac-12 champion. Okay, former Duck.
By default.
We won the game. We played USC for it. Somebody was too sick.
By default. By default.
And, I couldn't play a game, so Oregon.
It's okay.
It's okay.
I was 8. It's okay.
Neither here nor there. Anyways, he gets a shot to play his former coach. So I like that. I like the spot. Cards +5. Give it to me. My third game, we have Rutgers in quite an interesting spot. They get to play home against UCLA. Their equipment truck left last week on Wednesday to make it to Rutgers, and it's only 4.5 points. And I don't think UCLA is going to score more than 10 here. So Rutgers, cha-chink. Bama, and I know people are like, "You're gonna take Bama," and I'm gonna say, "Yeah, I'm gonna take Bama." Have you watched a
Why is
Tennessee
that?
game? Have you watched a Tennessee game this year?
No.
Okay. So game 1 against Chattanooga, 69-3. Game 2 against NC State, 51-10. Game 3, Kent State, 71-0. Josh Heupel can't be stopped. Nobody in Tennessee can be stopped. Their wide receivers breathe and they move past cornerbacks. Safeties immediately go blind. They can't find them. Okay. They play Oklahoma. It's a 25-15 rock fight. Absolute rock fight. Okay. Last week, no, 2 weeks ago, they lost. Woo Pig, Arkansas, 19-14. Last week, Florida, what was the points? How many points do you think they scored?
10.
No, they scored 23, 23-17. Yeah, 6-point victory. And I get it. Florida, maybe they're a decent team. But I think Florida lost Graham Mertz like halfway through that game. So just ugly wins when they do win. It's been, 60, 70, 50, 25, 19, 25. So now they're playing Alabama. I think it's overall a low scoring game. What's the over under on this? Here's a prop bet for you. 55.5, 56, 56.5. I would take the under all day long in this game. All day. And I think Bama covers the 3. So then probably the America's game of the week, don't you think? Is there a bigger game this week than this one? This is the Ohio.
The one right afterwards that you're about ready to pick?
Yeah. The 4:30 kickoff?
Yeah. That one.
Texas Longhorns.
Who's playing in that one? Yeah, who's playing in that one?
Texas Longhorns and the University of Georgia. Sisson, do you know how far back you would need to go in order to bet Georgia is an underdog?
Oh. Let me think real quick here. Well, I mean, I want to say this year they were underdogs against Bama early lines, but I'd probably say like 2020, 2021, somewhere in that range.
I believe it was 2019.
Oh, well.
Is that not crazy? I'm double checking myself here. Week 1 of 21 against Clemson. So you were right. Still.
Well,
3 years. 3 years.
Yeah.
3 years plus.
Yeah. Well, what needs to really be the topic of conversation here is that Kirby Smart keeps his filthy little dick beaters off of the Texas Longhorn players here in this game.
Because he's going to get beaters off of his sideline.
The guy ran out of bounds.
Well, stay off of his sideline. He's trying to talk to his player.
Okay. Anyway, continue.
So Georgia's an underdog. That means that Georgia can lose by a point, and I can still win money on that. So give me Georgia +5. And then game 6, UNLV and Oregon State. UNLV, come on, give it to me. 6.5, they'll cover it. Yeah, they will.
Nope.
Mad Dog picks here. Warlock stuff. You bet that $25. It's gonna make you 1,100 and some extra scruples. I'll do my lock of the week after your picks of the week.
All right. Well, I have to turn off the telestrator here because I didn't telestrate. Okay.
Wow.
Sorry about that.
Freelancing.
All right. Look, so I'm going to first go to some games that you have picked as well. Okay. Rutgers at home against UCLA. That's got to be the easiest paycheck in the history of paychecks. UCLA is absolute dog shit. And anybody who tries to tell you that they are not clearly hasn't watched UCLA football in the last 4 seasons because they are absolute dog shit. And Rutgers may not be world beaters here, all right? They're good enough to cover 4.5. Fuck, the flight alone going across to the East Coast is 4.5 points. So I'm going to go with the Scarlet Knights here in that one. It's probably going to be like 27-20, 27-17. That's a win either way. Look, man, I mean,
I think
I'm
they're
with
score
you.
that much.
27?
No, not Rutgers. Rutgers could score into the 35s, 40s. I'm talking about UCLA.
I mean, I'm sure that there's going to be a couple of accidental flags that, move them closer into the red zone, to keep the over-under game, a little interesting. That's just the way things work nowadays in football in general, sports in general, I should say.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll give UCLA a respective, 17 points here, but nothing much more than that. Listen, I want to go to that game that you just talked about with Alabama and Tennessee. I can't do it, Jared. I can't see a world where Alabama wins this game. Alabama's played like dog shit. Yeah, Alabama's played like dog shit the last couple weeks, man. Sure. Like you okay, right? On the heels of beating Georgia, you lose as 22.5 point favorites at Vanderbilt. Like, not you don't cover, you lose the game outright. Like, Paul Feinbaum called that the worst loss in the history of SEC football, which really means nothing to me because Paul Feinbaum's a moron. But at the end of the day, right? ESPN puts a lot of emphasis on what Paul Feinbaum says. So, yeah, man, I got Rocky Top here +3. Kalen DeBoer has a tendency to play games close. It doesn't matter if it's against a really good team. It matters if it's against the Washington State Cougars. They're playing a tight game here, no matter what.
Yeah.
You're telling me that I get Rocky Top as a home underdog in this game. Like, I'm with you, right? When you're playing Chattanooga, Kent State, Air Force, Coast Guard, right? Those are easy wins. You're going to win by 80 every game.
True.
And when they play the Woo Pig, I get it. When they play Florida, that's a rivalry. Tennessee and Florida, it's always been a rivalry.
Yeah.
You need something to refocus you, and this is as big of an opportunity for Rocky Top as it is in any game that they're going to play the rest of the year. If they want to stay in the conversation, this is the game that they need to win. And I'm not even saying they do win it, but I'm getting 3 points here at home in a game where Alabama needs every fucking point, it seems like, to win a game recently. They made South Carolina look good last week, for Christ's sake, man. Like, you be honest with me. You turn and you looked at me right now in the camera, okay? I'm telling you right now. Did you think that after losing outright to Vanderbilt, that they would come back the next week against South Carolina and somehow make that a 2-point game? I don't care if there was an onside kick recovered or not. That had 40-point win written all over it if you're Alabama. That doesn't concern you as an Alabama bettor?
No. I'll tell you why. No, I'm telling you why. I totally expected that South Carolina. 100%. You know why?
No, I'm waiting to hear.
We're in the midst of Cocktober.
Oh, right, God.
Now. I mean, there's a one time of year where you don't want to play South Carolina at home, and it's right now. Luckily, Alabama dodged them, and it wasn't a full moon in a night game. They were robbed, okay? But this was full tilt Cocktober, and it was in effect. Absolutely, it was going to be a 2-point game. Now, this week, Alabama, I think they're going to be closer to the team that played Georgia than the team that's played the last 2 weeks. And I don't think Tennessee's going to have an answer offensively.
All right. Well, after Tennessee wins this next week, I'm going to come back here and bang these fucking beers together like Stone Cold Steve Austin, all up on my keyboard. All right.
Okay. Be a man of your word.
Moving on.
Okay.
James Madison. Yeah, James Madison. -10 at Georgia Southern. This is the easiest money as well. This ticket's too easy. I'm wondering how I'm even making money on this ticket here. Georgia Southern is like decent for group of 5, but they've been a program for 15 years.
Yeah.
James Madison has put up some serious offensive numbers this year. Defense, not too great. But when you're putting 70 up against the ACC North Carolina, yeah, give me James Madison. Speaking of teams that have played really good on offense,
Okay.
Southern Methodist University.
Yeah. SMU.
Minus 16 at I can't score at all Stanford. That I know it's at Stanford, and I know, guess what? Here's the thing, right? The mystique of, quote, the farm, Jarrod,
Gone.
It only works in the Warlock math, the Warlock world of Pac-12 teams versus Pac-12 teams. The only people who are subjected to the farm are teams that Phil Knight went to college at. So other than that, maybe Washington. I mean, I've seen Washington go down to Stanford and play weird games.
I think the Pac-12 has been in very much effect still. It's just the 7 o'clock kickoffs. If you are playing an ex-Pac-12 team and it is a 7 o'clock kickoff, buckle the fuck up.
SMU's winning this game. You're telling me that 27-10 gets me a ticket here? I'm jumping all over this one, Jarrod.
Sure.
This is easy money. I'll tell you what else is easy money here. Kentucky -2 at Florida. Florida has played historically bad this year at home. They're injured all over the place. Kentucky's winning this game easy.
Wow. I love it.
Indiana -6.5 at home against Nebraska. Anytime that I've put my faith in Mini Mahomes, he has come up small, very small. The only time that I didn't put my faith in Nebraska, Colorado came to town and Colorado looked like dog shit. I don't know which of the two I'm going to get this week, but I'm telling you what, Indiana has a real chance to go undefeated. Their schedule's really not that tough. They get past the next couple, they're realistically going to be in the conversation. And I think that Raiola doesn't have a shot in this one. I'm going to go Hoosiers. Hoosier Daddy. So this $25 parlay, again, Indiana -6.5. I'm covering, by the way. This isn't money line. -6.5. Kentucky -2. SMU -16. James Madison -10. Tennessee home underdog +3, and then Rutgers -4.5 at home against UCLA. 25 makes you $1,252.07. That is my 6-leg parlay this week, Jarrod.
Yeah, we have a couple.
You know what? The only one that you think that I'm wrong on is the Tennessee-Alabama game. Other than that, you know damn well those other results are they're gonna cash.
I don't love the SMU game. I want to be on record right now. I don't love the SMU game. I don't love it. I understand it. I don't love it.
Why did you say that?
Well, I mean, it kicks off at 5 o'clock. Okay, so half this game is going to be played after 7 o'clock, and SMU is an air raid offense, and Stanford, the farm, as Brucey would tell you, they have shotguns on the farm, and if you're trying to fly, it doesn't really work out. And then, you think about it, the SMU, the ponies, and what the fuck do ponies do on a farm? They get fucking caged in, So, I mean, each their own, but, 16.5 is a lot of points for the ponies.
I'm not frozen, by the way. I'm just kind of.
I know. You're processing. I get it. I don't love it. I didn't say I hate it. I just don't love it. I understand the pick. I don't love it. If there was a spot, if you were going to hit everything else on that ticket, that's the one I think that might slip past.
I could chicken out. I could chicken out and just go money line, or I could tease it down.
You could. I mean, you could. Up to you, man.
No. Let's move on to NFL.
Yeah. All right, let's do this.
All right, Jared's up on the screen. I actually took time to do his telestrator tonight, so I'm too busy making a tri-tip roast.
I'm going to read anything you put on the teleprompter. Even if I switch to pick now in my notes, you got me locked in here. So game 1, Detroit at Minneapolis. Detroit at Minnesota.
Yeah, tough
Detroit
team, Minneapolis.
at the Vikings. I really like Detroit, man. They got Dan Campbell in full effect. I don't think 1.5's enough. 3.5, I probably would have gone the other way, but 1.5, give me Detroit. On my second game here, Indy is playing Miami, who is, I heard, playing, I don't know who's quarterback. Okay. Yet again, I mean, it's Miami. Like, I couldn't tell you what is happening.
Tyler Huntley.
Is it Huntley still? Okay. So Tyler Huntley. Yeah, the fighting Huntleys. And they're gonna play Indianapolis. And I don't care if Anthony Richardson's quarterback. I don't care if Joe Flacco's quarterback. I don't care if they walk Brett Favre out there as quarterback. Indianapolis by 3 for sure. Which is going to bring us to our topographical pick of the fucking week here. This one gets me fucking excited. Listen. Everybody thinks Seattle's dead, right? They're just a seagull floating out there on the ocean, just waiting, recovering. This is when they're the most fucking feisty, okay? The wounded, okay? This is when things are not going to work out well. And here comes a fucking falcon right down the coastline. Thinks it sees a seagull, but really, it's just a seagull that thinks it's a Seahawk, okay? It's going to fuck him up. This is absolute mismatch. This isn't out on the prairies. There isn't a tree around, okay? We're right by the ocean. Ospreys by 3. Ospreys by 10. Seahawks are going to win this game. Have to have the bounce back. Now, question, since we're going to talk about them real quick here in the parlay, you brought it up earlier. How mad are you going to be if you see Jamal Adams don a Seahawks outfit again?
Oh, I'll be furious.
You don't think he could play like a little rover spot? And don't put him in coverage. Just let him go after a quarterback and cover the flat.
All right. So I don't want to say anything that's going to get me in trouble with Jamal Adams because I know he's on social media. I know he takes things personally.
Yeah.
But that guy is gutless. That guy is absolutely gutless.
Okay. Well,
I don't want anything to do with Jamal Adams. Like, I get it that a couple of injuries that happened to him, not his fault. But last season, entirely on Jamal Adams.
Yeah.
The guy made business decisions all up and down the year. And rightfully, you know what? I'm not even going to fault you, Jamal. I'm not even going to fault you. All right. You tricked Tennessee into giving you money. You tricked them to bringing them in. Right. We gave you everything you wanted.
Yep.
Okay. You made your business decisions. Right. Hopefully you made some money. I don't know what the prorated, deal is that you get for getting released by a team not even halfway through the season. So you can hope to coattail on some contender. I don't even who needs a washout safety in the NFL right now, Jarrod. Whoever needs a washout safety should probably call Jamal Adams. But, yeah, sorry, I'm not impressed. Like, the amount that we gave up for that guy to come in, underperform.
Yeah.
Like, I thought for real that we were getting, like, another Earl Thomas.
Yeah.
I really thought that. I didn't realize that we weren't getting Earl Thomas here, that we were getting bum Jamal Adams who didn't want to stay healthy and then didn't want to put his body on the line when he couldn't stay healthy. Right. And he just wants to stay in the league and have a job.
Right.
Like his track record doesn't look attractive to me.
No.
Like if I'm a GM, I'm saying I don't want this guy on my roster. What does he bring to the team that is about the team? Is what, like, for instance, if you put him on the Minnesota Vikings right now, they may not win another game.
Yeah.
I'm just being real. I mean,
I get
continue with your Yeah, continue with your picks. I appreciate Brucey stopping by with his geographical, topographical analysis. And which, by the way, I don't have Seattle picked in this game. Buddy, I'm so sorry, Brucey. I am. I really am. But I just don't see how on God's green earth that the Seahawks win this game. I really don't. They're so injured, bro. They're missing everybody. They're like they have no team to field. To be completely honest, I might even take back almost everything I just said about Jamal Adams just to have him on the field this weekend. Because they got nobody.
They don't. They have nobody. So then going to the fourth game in this parlay here, a team that has everybody, Kansas City, because even if they're down a player, they still have the Zebras, and you only need 1.5. Kansas City will win this game this weekend against San Francisco, and they will cover 1.5. New York Jets play Pittsburgh. Now, there is a world where TJ Watt and the Pittsburgh defense just terrorize Aaron Rodgers. That is a world. I understand that. There's also a world where they get overzealous and Devontae Adams has 21 catches for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns because he finally has a good quarterback to play with again. Yeah.
All you need to know in this game is that the Pittsburgh Steelers are starting Russell Wilson. This is the easiest Jets win in the history of Jets wins.
All right. Even if TJ Watt plays amazing and the entire defense gets after Aaron Rodgers, Pittsburgh will still lose. And then the last game in this parlay here was kind of difficult. I really had to make sure this was the one I wanted to go with, but I took the Chargers at Arizona. I don't know why Arizona.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
Arizona just doesn't seem.
Did you know that Arizona allows the most rushing yards in the league?
Oh, yeah.
Did you know what Jim Harbaugh likes to do?
Run the ball.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not good.
J.K. Dobbins is going to run for like 160 yards.
Yeah, probably. So, yeah. Give me the Chargers. So that one, $25 earns you another $1,100. It was a really even weekend. 25 for 11 ski. That means if you place both of my parlays, 2,200 for 50. Not too bad.
Good work. Again, not on the telestrator, on my phone. All right, so Jarrod, I couldn't resist on a couple of games here with you. I'm with you.
Okay.
All right, and I'm going to tell you that the theme of my picks is money line.
Okay.
I'm really not too interested in points this week. Detroit straight up. I don't even need the points in this one. Minnesota's due for a loss. It's just the facts. It's a division game. They're at home. This is a battle of attrition. Aaron Jones lost by Minnesota. Aiden Hutchinson lost by Detroit. Obviously, something's got to give here, right?
Yep.
But I look at a team that is going to struggle to find a way to run the ball successfully in Minnesota. And, Minnesota's going to have to score in this one. Detroit has got good wide receivers. They got good tight end. They got great running backs. They're the number one offensive line in the league. They can run the ball better than anybody. So, it played indoors, fast track. David Montgomery, ageless. He reminds me a lot of Frank Gore late in his career. Just continues to churn out yards no matter what. So I'm going Detroit.
David Montgomery's not old.
No.
He's like
20. He seems old. He's old by NFL running back standards. Don't even bother looking up how old he is. He played for 2 different teams. That means in the NFL he's old.
He's only played since 2019. He's 27 years old.
Old in the NFL. He's freaking ancient. All right. Okay, moving on. Green Bay at home, money line against Houston. They are 3-point favorites, Green Bay is. I don't want to play with that. Every team seems to have a problem playing in Lambeau for the first time.
Yeah.
This is C.J. Stroud's first trip to Wisconsin since playing at Ohio State.
Yeah.
This time he's not matched up against the Badgers. This time he's matched up against Jordan Love, who seems to not be throwing the ball to the other team as often lately. And they still have a decent running game with Josh Jacobs. And it seems that Romeo Dobbs' suspension has done him well. He had a good week last week.
He did.
I think Houston's still easily the class of the AFC South unless Joe Flacco just continues to fuck around and find out. But give me Green Bay on the money line here in this one.
Okay.
Lambeau's a tough place.
It is.
Jarrod, I am so with you on Kansas City. It's not even funny on how with you I am.
Yeah.
Kansas City is one of the better teams in the league at stopping the run. What does Kyle Shanahan like to do besides choke big leads in big games?
Run the ball.
And they're not going to be able to here, right?
No.
Patrick Mahomes just continues to give his teams chances to win. This is a classic big Travis Kelce game. This is a classic defensive dominating performance here by the Chiefs.
Yep.
You're telling me that I get an undefeated team led by the two-time defending champions as an underdog? I don't care who they're playing. It's that bum-ass team from San Francisco that they beat twice in the Super Bowl in the last couple of meetings. Chiefs, straight up.
Yep.
This team, Jarrod, has defeated the Detroit Lions on the road this year. They've defeated Atlanta on the road this year. Which team am I talking about?
Oh. The Ravens?
Well, the Ravens are in this game, but no, that's not the team that I'm talking about. The team I'm talking about is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh, you gave it away already. I didn't put two and two together.
It's okay, I know. Tampa Bay has quietly put together a very solid resume and a solid season here.
Yeah.
Beating Detroit and how physical they are leads me to believe that physicality is not an issue for these Buccaneers.
No, because they still have
And
that fucking tank Vita Vea.
With the Ravens coming into town, the Ravens are, I think, 3.5 or 4.5 point favorites in this one. These games don't happen very often in these crossovers. I like Tampa Bay here. I'm going straight up. Home win. I like it. Plus 160 just on that game individually.
Okay.
Tennessee at Buffalo. This was the one game that I decided to just take points in. Tennessee is abysmal. They don't know what they're doing. Buffalo just got Amari Cooper for a bag of balls. Buffalo minus 9.5.
Yeah.
Last game, Cincinnati on the road at Cleveland. As long as Deshaun Watson is playing football, I cannot bet on that team. I have to take whoever's playing against him. So I'm going to go Cincinnati on the money line. I don't even want points in this one. I just want to go and get a win. Minus 265 on the individual pick. But if you total all that together, $25 at plus 4,496 will pay you 1,148 rupees.
Man, we're eerily close on our odds this week.
Well, I mean, the goal here is not to be as close to each other as possible. It's just to try to figure out the best winning tickets.
Right. I agree.
And by the way, I did get a winning ticket actually in UFC, which doesn't count in football. But still, a five leg parlay cash. These things happen. They happen every now and then.
I'll have a shot at redemption next week.
Is that Ilya and Max?
Yes, it is.
I don't know why, buddy. I'm just saying, like, if there's a prop bet for it, which there is, by the way, at the A-Lene Sportsbook, Tapuria by knockout. I think Max is going down for the first time, like starched. Like it's going to be done. Yeah. Sorry.
Wow. You could be right.
I'm rooting for Max. I am, but
I get it.
Something to be said for these young guys that just don't know any better, that just haven't been hit yet. They just go out there and they just throw. And Tapuria is just going to keep throwing until he gets caught for the first time for real in his life. He's going to really just keep going.
No, I agree.
So you're picking Tapuria, that one?
No, you'll get my pick
Okay.
next week sometime.
Understood.
Got to watch a couple vlogs. Got to see my fighters. Look them in the eyes. See where they're at mentally. Watch a press conference or two.
How's it bet we watch ourselves at press conference? How's it bet we talk about the fight rather than fight the fight?
Right. Because, that one might be a geographical, topographical lock.
Terrible pick alert.
I'm just saying, buddy. I'm trying to look right now. I can't remember where that card is.
Oh. Seems like a Vegas fight.
I don't think so. We'll find out. I'm looking right now. UFC 208. No, 308. Man.
208?
I know. Went back in time. Oh, it's in Abu Dhabi.
Everything's in Abu Dhabi lately.
Yeah, that's going to be an awesome card. Holloway, Topuria, Whitaker, Chimaev.
Just out of curiosity, what time does it start? Like our time?
11
a.m.?
Yeah, for the main card.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, you got Magomed fighting Rakic on that card too.
Ankalaev?
Yeah, Ankalaev and Alexander Rakic. And Sharaputin Magomedov.
So that's going to be like a 2 o'clock Pacific time fight?
No, an 11 a.m. fight.
Right, but by the time we get to the championship fight,
maybe
probably 12:30, 1 o'clock.
It depends on how fast the other fights happen, but yeah, somewhere in there.
I don't like it.
No, hold on. Let's look and see what conflict that's going to cause in the NCAA world. Schedule going over to next week, week 9. A lot of games to be determined. Illinois and Oregon's a 12:30 kickoff, though.
There you go.
2 o'clock slate. Nothing too bad. That's actually like perfect time for them if it's in there. They have that fight start at 12:30. No one's going to be watching, though. Pretty big slate of games there.
You getting back on college football 25 at all?
I mean, yeah, I've been working on it. Had a really good season. This last one that I played, not too bad. Just trying to grind it out, figure out. I mean, it's video game football, so I hate when I have dumb stuff happen to me and I can't stop it and don't have answers. Can't figure out how to adjust to it, and then having to do that on stream, it's embarrassing. But there is
happens to the best of them.
It's coming. I know it happens to the best of them. Once in a while is one thing, but every game I can't. No, we're locking in, buddy. We've had some. I used to lose every game against Alabama. Now I'm shooting about 70% against them. That fucking Milrow contain.
Nice.
So it's coming. We'll get back to it. Don't you worry. Soccer season's almost over. And then I'll be freed up again.
Basketball season's about ready to start.
Yeah. And that's awesome.
All right. Well, I hope that our bets cash this week.
Say
we can revisit next week and feel really good about ourselves.
I'm hoping that we handle business tomorrow and I just get to enjoy Saturday's slate of football games.
No, please don't group me in with we in that scenario.
I wasn't saying you. You're not included.
Good. I'm not. I don't. This is one party I don't want invited to.
You never were. I said we. I hope we handle business.
Just so you know.
Tomorrow.
Just so you know, there's no disappointment not being invited to a party you don't want to attend. The only thrill is being invited so you can turn it down.
I get that.
Yeah.
I just hope that, Washington's able to win the bye week.
Well, Jed Fish is coaching it, so probably not.
I just hope he might stall out, right.
He's probably gonna sub in another quarterback.
Yeah. Why don't you guys just play the freshman?
I 100%. I think so. Yeah.
Play the freshman.
I hate transfers. I hate NIL. I hate all things about it. College football is not college football anymore, but whatever.
Don't let me in with that party.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I don't know why we don't, but we don't, because we're coached by the future coach of the Florida Gators. That's what the problem is. So
I called it. Preseason of this year.
Oh, it's not shocking.
All right.
Well, thank you, everybody, for tuning into tonight's show. Hopefully it was educational or at least entertaining.
Maybe both.
Yep, maybe both. But we'll reconvene next week, talk about our tickets and how they did not fail drastically.
Correct.
I know one of our college football picks is not going to go well for one of us, so we'll figure it out for sure. But I'm Nick. That's Jarrod. We appreciate you guys showing out tonight, and make sure you guys are following us if you could on our page. Again, it's at the bottom of the screen. Follow us on Facebook at Zbookies.com. We appreciate all your support, and we look forward to seeing you next week, Degenerates.